Okay, so this is probably the one that's going to get uploaded. I've already tried several of these now. I've updated to Windows 11, and so I've redone all my software, and that's why this stream, for anyone on my notifications, which actually there are some people, which is surprising, but anyone on the notification system probably just got spammed with me trying to get this to work. So I'm not really doing a proper stream right here. What I am thinking of doing is just setting up my Blender here with all the add-ons that I use, and we can talk about them as I'm installing them and setting things up how I like them. And this is Blender 3.1, I think. So we'll find out what works here and what doesn't work in case any of them have been broken. So let's have a look at what's what while doing that. The main test I did want to do, which actually did cause the break last time, I believe, was swapping to Unreal Engine. So I'm just going to look around, I'm going to start moving around, and I'm hoping with the new hardware that that's not as laggy as it has been in the past. So I'm just going to wait for this stream to catch up with where I am. I'm just going to kind of judge whether this is destroying my computer or whether it's coming through smoothly. It looks like it's coming through smoothly, so that means that I can stream Unreal Engine now a lot better than I could previously, so that's good. But I imagine, you know, a few games have come out recently, so I'm going to play more Elden Ring. I've already finished Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West, so I'll be getting back to that soon. However, let's install a few add-ons. So, for add-ons, it looks like I've already got HardOps installed, so that's one right there. And with HardOps, it's just you've got to research that one if you don't know what it is. But the only thing that I changed by default is I actually use their exporter, and I set it to Alt-F. I think Alt-F is a really good shortcut for that, because I just press it and then I just export like super easy. Alt-F enter to re-export something that I've already done. And you can do that obviously just by going to File, Export, and then right-clicking over here and pressing Alt-F. You know, right-click and turn that to a shortcut. But I do it through the add-on just because the settings there I think are different potentially. Anyway, that's one that's set up. So let's try and find where we're looking at here. So I've got a folder, and that's all my add-ons right there. So I do have a bunch more right here, like loads more, but these are very much specific cases, and some of them are quite old. Like some of them have been redone now in a better position than you know, they'll be combined. Like I don't even need the Textile Density add-on anymore. I do use it, but I think I can do that with UV Toolkit. You know, so there's stuff like that. But let's start at the top. This one's very specific actually. So Vertex Color Master is really good, but what you want is the version for Blender 2.8, and you don't want the master branch. You can see that I've installed that at like 2 AM because I don't know, I just really wanted it for what I was doing. And you want to install the earlier version because the versions later than that are broken. But I think that's a really good add-on. You just go right here, and probably the most useful thing that I use it for is isolating channels. So if I select the red channel, I can start painting with the red channel, but I can also isolate the channel and then just start painting black and white. So I can fill this with a black value and then start painting the white value, and then when I confirm that, I've painted red only, which is really good. Amazing add-on actually. Just, you should donate to the guy because he's put it up for free, but if you ever need to do any Vertex painting, this is like way ahead of some of the other things out there basically. So along with that, we've got things like linear gradients, which are really useful for a lot of workflows, especially with nanite. Circular gradient, also very useful, and like dirty vertex colors and stuff like that, which with more polygons comes through a lot better. Yeah, there's loads of stuff here that's really good, and access to the alpha channel, which I'm pretty sure Blender doesn't really give by default, but there is actually an alpha channel, a fourth channel for any vertex painting, which is really useful to get access to as well. So now that's installed, I'm going to go for another one. Textile Density, this is one that I just said that maybe I don't need anymore, but I'm going to keep it anyway. Super easy. There's a ton of settings there that are a lot better than other options. I use it all the time when creating an object, especially for some renders. If I just go to my ArtStation, like just to show that things are square, I'll usually put a render on there using the text density checker. So let's go with also looking at a challenge. There you go, there's a render right there. So for this challenge, I used the text density checker on there just to make sure everything was looking square, and then just to make it work, and then on this one here to get this render as well. So it's something that I do on a lot of projects, so I think that's just useful. Just gotta check the stream health is working. It seems like it's all fixed. So that one's really cool. I'm not really going to go through it, but definitely worth a Google. Oh, I don't really need that in that folder. So that was a cool project I saw on Twitter, but it's just a little project, so I don't really need cluttering up that folder. Geocables is really cool. I haven't used it very much, but it's definitely an instant download. So let's see, how does this work? So go create cables, you click between two places and you can get some geometry nodes based cables spawning across the place, and there's some really cool settings that you can change here once you're actually in the geometry nodes themselves, I believe. Yeah, so you can start changing like tons of things, and I guess the best thing about it for me is that it is geometry nodes, so you can actually just go in there and the person has obviously well, because of the way that it's made, it's all exposed and easier to understand in a node-based system, which can be a really good way to learn. And I'm going to go back on that and look through it when I get the time, just to see how some of this stuff's done. But it's very, very dense in terms of the amount of things going on, and I bet some of these nodes, I bet some of them are just groups, like, well, actually they're all groups, so I think I can just learn how it works. But yeah, so that looks cool. So another one, so with Geocables, we got box cutter, which I always just have on, but I don't use as nearly as much as I would have thought. It's the standard thing that you should research pretty much. Just select the object and you can cut off little parts like that. I don't find it as, like, it's really good for creating with speed, and it makes a ton of sense, the workflow, but I just don't find myself needing it that much, and I find the accuracy of it to be quite low. So like, I know there's things I can probably do to make it snap that I haven't figured out or looked into yet to try and make it to improve the workflow, but I just don't end up using it, and I'm not sure. So I definitely recommend addons over box cutter if you're just getting into things. But box cutter is a really free-flowing workflow made by great people. So we can delete this. Okay, let's look at another one. Addons already installed. UV Toolkit. Now this is probably my most recent thing that I've installed, and it really is just amazing. In fact, the main reason that I installed it was, say if we've got a situation like a UV sphere and we go actually I'll use UV Toolkit to do this. So I'm going to go, even then I was just not using it by default, so it's quite new, but there's a button right there, seams from islands, and that's what I want to use. So seams from islands and then unwrap. Maybe I need to select it in here, seams from island, there we go, unwrap, and we get this messed up shape. And because of those triangles on the end, you can't just use like square gridify or straightening of the edges because they get messed up. So you can see how they're both failing. It's fine with the polygons, but it's not very good with irregular with triangles basically. So if I use instead I can select all the way down that edge potentially. We'll see what happens if I straighten it like that, and that's getting us like a lot of the way there. I've not used it on this shape specifically. I thought it could be a good example, but potentially it's not great. But you can see that the best thing about it though is that it's warping the shapes around it. So this So this probably isn't going to work, it's too crazy. But you probably gridify it and then straighten from this edge. And you can see how it warps the rest of the things around it. And that's how it was able to straighten out those triangles. So really, I guess prime example would be just unwrapping this section here. We can picture we have a shape like this, and I can't really straighten it because as soon as I straighten it, I'm getting messed up. So I select around the edge and I go straighten that instead, and we actually get a good representation of this being straight. That's probably the best way of using it. So I'm going to try past that point. I can just use some of the other aligning tools here somewhere. There they are, so I can align them like that, and I can align these as well. And I've got something that's pretty good. Maybe just, you know, something that's a lot better than the initial situation. And that's pretty much why I have this, and it's come in handy a lot. So there's plenty there that I haven't used that I was just pressing, but we'll go into the next one. Mesh Machine. Mesh Machine's really good. They're going a little bit box cuttery recently, I think. Or no, maybe it wasn't Mesh Machine. Know how to use Mesh Machine fully. Oh yes, it's in. Oh yeah, it is Mesh Machine. That's good. It's in get a bunch of options by pressing Y in this menu here, and the most useful tool here is the refuse. If I just get a cube and I press shampoo. Oh, okay, well. Clearly that's not working, and I'm going to have to update that. So that's one of the ones that isn't working at the moment. So I'm just going to download that now. From Gumroad. Mesh Machine, yes, so they're on number 11.0 now or something. So that one that I just had was Mesh Machine 10. We're on Mesh Machine 11 now. Install the new one. Okay, so let's see if this works. It might still be behind because Blender. No, okay, that's fine. It's not 100% perfect with the edges there, but potentially that's messed up before. So. Oh, okay. Well, maybe this doesn't work as well as you'd like. I have to download Blender 3.0 to check. That's interesting that it's a little bit broken at the minute. Yeah, okay. So definitely want to check out on Blender 3.0. I actually use Blender Launcher here. Probably wouldn't be good to download it on the stream, but potentially that's not built for this. So let's install another one. So that's a little bit different. They've just updated 3.0 and I do want to get that. But you know, I own this one and when I get a little bit more money and find more need for this, then I'll definitely be upgrading to UV Packmaster 2, 3 even. Really standard stuff, but there's just a ton of good options in here that I will not go over. It's definitely one to have when you're making complex models. Finally, Decal Machine, which I also don't use as much as I would like. It might also be broken in this Blender 3.1. We'll find out. Decal Machine. Oh, yeah, turn that to a panel. Go to material mode. This also looks potentially broken. I'm going to download Blender 3.0 and see what happens. Because surely it's... well, right, well, let's find out what version they're on. I just installed Decal Machine 2.51. Because they're on 2.61 now, you know, so they're upgrading it all the time, which is a pain, as well as a really, you know, it's amazing that they're making things so quickly. Well, when I was using that, but it's out of date already. But and partly it's because Blender updates so frequently, and so every add-on then has to do it as well. Okay, so new Decal Machine in there, delete the old one. Okay, are you going to want to just remove anything? Oh. Crazy. Yep. I'll do to what I already did. Okay. Just imagine, you know, so D should bring up some decal options, and it does not. So let's have a look. I did everything right. Would be just a Blender 3.1 thing, really. Test anything until it installs the Blender. The download speed shouldn't really be affected that much, to be fair. I think. While I'm on the updating train, I might as well get the latest because they definitely update hard ops and box cutter every single day. even just like all the time. So the latest version of doesn't go download for some reason. It seems broken. Probably permissions. Okay, well, another quick look around Unreal to make sure that the stream is acting appropriately. What I did just update while it was working away at the update, I just reinstalled this, is turning these barriers to the arrays that I did last stream. And the shadows was being really funny, like when this number was changed. Not sure what was going on with that. No, this makes the shadows go funny. Yeah, it's already funny there, kind of like hitting that edge at that angle. Mess around with the sky atmosphere actually. I potentially want to make the sky a little bit green. Can't remember what it looked like. Oh, it's really blue in the episode, I think. Ah, that's the software that I haven't downloaded yet, PureF. But you want to do, you don't want to forget to download or donate to PureF if you're setting up a computer or you're doing anything 3D. Donated it to before, but they are really good. Super elegant software. See if that's done any business. Not working. So definitely going to close that. Again. Yeah, PureF, great stuff. Like this. Happens really quickly. It's just looks really good, and the skies there are very, very blue in the concept with clouds. I've not added clouds. think it potentially the cloud system didn't like the fog that I was using, but I can just add clouds in. We're going to use the default one anyway. There we go, you just press a button these days and you get really good looking clouds. A few settings there, potentially the clouds. Well, on the directional light you want to make sure with volumetric shadow. Just double check. Cast shadows on clouds, that's going to improve it. Cast shadows on atmosphere, no. Cast cloud shadows, that changes things up a lot. It's potentially not what I want because, as we can see, the clouds are all a bit too crazy for that. Let's see what we can do with that material. Change that. And slightly softer clouds than whatever it was. Better. Really affecting that close cloud scale. Oops, opened the wrong software. Better, more sun coming through. So now we've got our original scene, but with a little bit more clouds. Overall, that's better than it was. There's somewhere that seems to be too strong. That's too much tiling on the noise. Oh yeah, okay, that's a little bit better. Moving too quickly, but it's better. You couldn't really see what I'm changing there, but you can see it on there on the screen if you want to see what settings I've done. Move that up for 1 second. Yep, all seems to be working. Fortunately, that isn't working, so I'm going to figure out what's going on with that later. Definitely think it's time to end the stream soon. So really that was a good look at just sort of like setting up my add-ons, which I don't think is, it might be boring. It was a test from my stream, but I don't think it's it should be underrated, because it is a very useful thing to know how to do and sort of know and be aware of all the add-ons. Unfortunately, it seems like Decal Machine is not working, so I'm going to try that in a different software. I guess that's it from me for now, and I will start streaming again after I've played Elden Ring more and gone out and things. So, change it to this.